Ayun, we have one watcher. That's great. I wonder if you're my mom. Ikaw ba yan, mommy? My mom always watches. Well, anyways, whoever you are, if you're not my mom, musta po kayo? Welcome to our live stream, which di ko masyadong ginagawa, but I should do more of, right? Ayun, we have two watchers, two viewers. Ayos! So guys, it's no big secret kung fina-follow niyo po yung channel ko this whole entire week. I've been posting about my car buying project slash journey, right? Dahil po, it's time na mag-upgrade kami or magpalit kami ng sasakyan. And I wanted to vlog the whole process para at least meron po tayong mga kabayan na siguro meron silang matutunan. For all of the people out there na nagpaplanong bumili ng kotse and wala po silang experience dealing with dealerships. Ayoko po silang maisahan. Ayoko po silang magulangan because I know how that feels dahil nung umpisa, ako po yung biktima lagi eh. Kaya binlog ko po. And hopefully meron po tayo matutunan doon or at least some tips and tricks na makatulong sa inyo na makuha yung coach niyong gusto na hindi kayo, parang feel niyo na daya kayo, di ba? Dahil yung regret laging nasa huli. And the last 3 videos na na-post ko po, marami po nagtatanong, marami pong comments, private messages na nakuha ko, right? And I try to answer as much of the questions na tinatanong po sa akin. But sometimes mahirap because, busy, right? So I'm taking this opportunity po to go through the questions, the comments that I got para ma-answer ko po. And, if you have mga tanong na gusto nyong i-post dyan, I'll be more than happy na sagutin when it comes to car buying, right? So, like I said, just to reiterate, pinapalitan po namin or I'm trying this week to exchange or upgrade yung Toyota Highlander po namin, which is 2023. Okay, 2 taon pa lang po sa amin yun. And usually, on the 3rd year noong lease contract namin, doon ko po binabalik yung kotse. Kaya lang, ito pong sitwasyon natin ngayon, with Donald Trump and the tariffs, tapos yung economy po natin, napansin ko po, tsaka yung mga kaibigan ko ng mga car guys, because I am a car guy, right? Napansin po namin, observation namin, lahat po ng mga used cars na 1 or 2 years old, maybe 3 years old, mababa yung mileage, dealerships are scooping these cars up for a premium. Yes. Dahil usually po, pag bumili kayo ng kotse, right? The moment you drive it off the lot, negative equity agad kayo. Dahil yung depreciation is like a rock, right? Ang bilis bumagsak ng presyo ng kotse. But, fortunately, sa situation po namin ngayon, yung 2023 Highlander namin, it's worth more than what we owe on the lease after we break it. And napaka-rare po nun, especially only after 2 years. Napaka-rare situation po nun. That's why I'm trying to take advantage of it, diba? Because right now, yung Highlander po namin, it has 37,000 kilometers. Okay? And usually around 50,000, which is typically the 3rd year of the lease. Alam nyo, may kotse kayo, di ba? You have to buy tires, you have to do maintenance, you have to do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to deal with none of that shit. Usually I return it before I have to spend $1 on the car because I don't want to spend anything dun sa kotse dahil we're not gonna keep it. Hindi po namin ikikip yung kotse, nililis lang po namin, right? Like we're paying for the use of the car. We have no intentions na i-keep yung kotse. merong payment, merong monthly payment, but we're paying for the utility. We're paying for the gamit ng kotse. Okay? Dahil wala naman po talagang libre dito sa mundo, right? So, you know what? Before I blah, 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 let me go through some of the questions na nakuha ko po. Posting, 3 videos so far about my car buying project. Okay? So, sabi po ni, I have my other phone right now. Okay? Sabi po ni Alan Riley 4070. Sabi po niya, I'd keep the Highlander. More comfortable, more power, quieter, especially if you do long drive. If you are buying po Toyota, Honda, and Subaru, they are keepers dahil of their reliability. Mag-lease daw ako ng BMW, Mercedes, pero unreliable daw. So masasagot ko po dyan, gusto ko pong i-keep yung Highlander. Yeah. Pero it doesn't make any sense sa sitwasyon po namin. Dahil hindi po personal vehicle yung Highlander. Para po sa negosyo ni Mrs. yun, right? And like I said earlier in this video, like not even 2 minutes ago, ayoko pong gumasta sa bulsa ko any maintenance dito sa Highlander na to dahil wala po kaming intention na i-keep, right? So bago po dumating yon, dahil tumataas ang milyahe, 37,000, balik ko na. And this is the best time to do it dahil given the current economical conditions dito sa Canada ngayon, believe it or not, sinuwerte po si Kuya PuTo, mas mataas yung presyo sa market ng Highlander po namin ngayon kaysa dun sa utang na natitira. So, if you watch my video po, the last three videos na pinost ko, na-offeran po ako ng $3,000 equity above what we owe. So, magkano ba yung in-offer sa akin? So, yung pong utang doon sa Highlander is just under 42,000. Okay? In-offer po sa akin sa Honda, 3,000 above. So, $3,000 equity. So, basically, 45,000 po in-offer sa akin ng Honda. So, nasa sa akin na po yun kung, kukunin ko o hindi. And, we'll see. Like I said, if you follow my videos, I've narrowed it down to 4 cars. Okay? I've narrowed it down to 4 cars. And at the end of the week, if lahat po, falls into place, ibabalik ko na, isusurrender na po namin yung Highlander. Okay? So going back dun sa tanong ni Alan Riley, 4070, bakit daw hindi ako mag-lease ng BMW or Mercedes? I've never had a Mercedes, but I've had a BMW. No, not in a million years. I would never do that again. Dahil po, depreciation, they depreciate like a rock. Okay? Maintenance, sobrang mahal po. Meron po akong BMW M3. And just to do an oil change, para po alam niyo, just to do an oil change, the last time I did it, I think it cost me just under $300. Oil change lang po yun. Kaya hindi ko na minamaneho. Nandun lang sa kabilang bahay, natutulog sa loob ng garahe. Okay? So, I stick to Toyota, Honda, and maybe Subaru. By the way, kung di niyo po alam, Subaru, 20% ownership, Toyota. Look it up. Okay. So, another question. Malabo yung mata ni Kuya PuTo. Ito pong question na to, galing kay Riro Venus. Okay, sabi po ni Riro Venus, Kuya PuTo, just watch your video. Timing naman, bala ko kasi i-trade yung Toyota RAV4 namin. Any advice dyan, boss? Toyota RAV4, napakaswerte niyo po. Dahil any Toyota, I don't even think it matters kung gaano katanda. Any Toyota, yung mga dealerships po, saking sila to get back all of these used cars, right? Dahil with the tariffs, the promises of tariffs from Donald Trump, right? They're predicting po na tataas yung presyo ng brand new, so walang masyadong bibili ng brand new, so karamihan po ng tao bibili nila is used. So yung demand po for used quality vehicles, i.e. Toyota, napakataas po ngayon, kaya po, nag-spike yung mga presyo ng Toyota. So advice ko po sa inyo, sa RAV4 ninyo, keep it. Trade it in. But before you trade it in, follow po yung mga kalokohan na ginawa ko sa mga videos ko. The last 3 videos. Follow po yung ginawa ko po dun. As in, do your research. Make sure alam niyo po yung presyo, yung halaga ng kotse ninyo. Okay? That way you get top dollar para hindi po kayo maisahan ng dealership. Dahil yung dealership, babaratin po kayo. That's their job because they need to make money, di ba? Babaratin kayo nun. So siguraduhan ninyo na bago kayo, before you step foot inside a dealership, make sure you know more than the sales agent about the car that you're trying to buy or trade. Okay? So sana naman po na-answer ko yung question niyo. Okay. Ito naman po kay Edgar Santos, 9215. Hi, Kuya PuTo. A very good informative vlog and like it. Follow your next subject vlog because we are planning to do the same to our current Honda Accord 2010. It's already paid off. I hope you remember us during Spot Pinoy anniversary, February 8th. Of course I do. Di ko na po babasahin yung pangalan, but of course I do. By the way, guys, support Spot Pinoy. They're amazing. Okay? They're amazing. So, your 2010 Honda Accord. Katulad po nung sinabi ko dun sa last commenter about their Toyota RAV4. Same idea. I don't know how much you can get for 2010 dahil medyo katandaan na, right? But, it's gonna be more than what it's supposed to get you. Because like I said, yung current market natin ngayon, if it's anything Japanese almost, like a Honda or a Toyota or a Subaru, dealerships are paying a premium. And on the second-hand market, you can squeeze a lot more compared to before. Mapapansin niyo po yan. Just go on Facebook Marketplace. Slowly, okay, over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks to a month, medyo tumataas na po yung mga presyo of certain vehicles. Not all. Karamihan po ng mga domestic, huwag kayong magalit kay Kuya PuTo, right? But I'm pretty sure marami po dyan mahilig sa Ford, mahilig sa Dodge, mahilig sa GM, okay? There's a reason kung bakit hindi ko po, I don't touch those vehicles. Okay? There's a reason why. Because normally, they hold zero value. After after gamitin niyo po, as in, wala na pong value. Millie the Toy Puro. Oh, kumusta po kayo? I always see your name whenever I watch a Spot Pinoy live. Sabi po ni Millie the Toy Puro, Kuya PuTo, planning to get my dream poor man sports car. A GR85 manual. Now we're talking. Okay, I like those. I like the shape. I like how it looks. Okay, should I pay cash, lease, or finance? They really want to keep it for my future apo. Okay, I like the GR. I really do. I like the GR86. It's the only other sports car that Toyota has besides the Supra. Gusto ko po yung itsura niya. I like the shape. I think it replaced the FRS, if I'm not mistaken. They had the FRS and the BRZ from Subaru. It's basically the same car, di ba? The GR86 is the one that replaced it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because, anyways, ganito po sasabihin ko. Depende po kung gaano kayo kalayo mag-drive. If you're planning to put a lot of kilometers dito sa coaching to, probably finance it. Pero kung if you're gonna drive less than 20,000 kilometers a year, I would lease it. Pero you have to switch your mindset. Dahil karamihan po sa atin mga Pinoy, typical Pinoy way of thinking, ganito rin po ako dati. Gusto natin, pag meron tayong binili, tapos nagbabayad tayo towards sa binili natin, at the same time, gusto po natin makip yun. Okay? I used to think the same way. Sasabihin, bayad ka ng bayad, tapos di naman sa'yo, ibabalik mo lang. I used to think that way. Until a lot of my friends who are in the finance industry, sinabi po nila sa akin, yung kotse, it's not an asset. Okay, it's a liability. So, shift your mindset from thinking, oh, wala man ako makukuha, to, I'm paying for the use of the vehicle. Dahil kung ilis nyo po yan, yung monthly or bi-weekly payments niyo mas mababa. And you could do what I do, After 2 or 3 years, kung sawa na kayo, there's a very good possibility kung i-surrender ninyo either hugas kamay, maybe on the second or third year, hugas kamay kayo, balik nyo na lang, or maybe there's, a slight positive equity situation. And kung talagang nakursunadahan ninyo and you want to keep it, just continue the 5-year lease, fulfill the contract, tapos buy it out. And a GR86, the fact na it's a Toyota, it's gonna keep its value. You're always gonna be ahead. Historically, okay guys, I don't know what's gonna happen sa economy natin moving forward, but historically, you will always be ahead with a Toyota as far as depreciation. Okay? So hopefully that answered your question po, Millie the Toy Poodle. Rodante Ulat. Sabi po ni Kuya Rodante, Ford Explorer pa rin, solid, hindi ka magsisisi. Kuya Rodante, I think I answered this question earlier. Nakita ko po dun sa comment section. Okay. Huwag kayong magalit sa akin, okay? There is a place for Ford. It's just not on my driveway, unfortunately. And hindi ko po pinipintasan yung mga tao na, they like Ford. Like kayo po, Kuya Rodante. I respect that. It's a personal choice lang po sa akin. I grew up in Oakville. Okay, just bear with me. Yung pong house ng parents ko is 5 minutes away from the Ford plant. The big Ford plant where they make all of these trucks and everything else, right? And kahit po minsan, hindi po kami nag-Ford. Even though, marami po kaming kakilala and kamag-anak na nagtatrabaho doon that could have given us discounts back in the day. And the reason being po is because, historically the reliability was never there. And, it has no resale value. Masyado pong mababa or non-existent yung resale value nila. For some people po, it works, but unfortunately for our purpose, sa purpose po ng family namin, there's a reason why I always stuck with Honda and Toyota. Yeah. So, like I said, nothing personal po, Kuya Rodante. It's just a personal choice. I would never ever buy a Ford or an American vehicle. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I got a Jeep. But yeah, I can't do Fords, unfortunately. Nelson. Wow, Kuya PuTo, naka-live. Yeah. Normally, I don't do live, but you know what? Maiba naman, di ba? Maiba naman. Okay. Si Jojo Andaya, sabi po ni Kuya Jojo, Kuya PuTo, any advice if I should buy now before the tariff hits or wait until it calms down? Just like sa Philippines po noon, bigla taas auto prices with the VAT. Ganito po masasabi ko dyan. If you don't have to buy a car, if you don't have to make a big ticket purchase, don't. As in, don't. Kung yung kotse niyo po ngayon is perfectly fine, kahit matanda, it doesn't matter. Kung di kayo binibigyan ng sakit ng ulo, kung di kayo binibigyan ng sakit sa bulsa, keep it. Keep it. Alam ko po, tayong mga Pinoy, we love kotse. And I'm one of them. Okay? Pero sometimes kailangan po ilagay natin sa lugar. We have to think of what's more important, di ba? So, sa amin po, just to clarify, kung tutuusin, ayoko po talaga ng merong monthly payment. As in, the last thing I want is to have a monthly payment. But, yung circumstance po namin medyo kakaiba because we're able to claim vehicle expense sa taxes po namin because, it's a business vehicle po, right? Yung po mga kotse ko, mga luma. They're older, but I haven't bought anything like in so long. Dahil, I don't want any monthly payments. Like I said, I'll repeat, the only reason why ini-embrace ko po itong monthly payment sa kotse po ni Mrs. because it is a business vehicle. So going back to your question, if you don't have to, don't. Save your money. Okay? There's always gonna be cars out there. Hindi po tayo mauubusan ng kotse. There's always something new. There's always something shiny. Hindi po tayo mauubusan. Mararamdaman niyo po yun if it's the right time for you. Okay? So, sabi po ni Millie the Toy Poodle, I don't drive as much and might put in about 5,000 kilometers a year. We have a separate vehicle for the family. This GR86 is just for fun driving. We'll keep it inside the garage in the winter. Yes, it's the FRS. Okay, then in that case, what I would do, I would find a used one. I would. Maghanap po kayo ng used, like a demo. Don't buy brand new. Okay, dahil if you buy brand new, ito, sa akin lang po to, right? I love sports cars. Okay, that's my weakness. I've had nothing but sports cars since I was 16 years old. That was my weakness. Ang dami ko pong sinayang, inubos na salapi dahil sa kahibangan ko sa kotse. And one thing that I did learn, and I'm still learning right now, it's not good to spend money on it because you'll never ever get that money back. And if you can get a used version of the car na gusto mo, it's better dahil nag-depreciate na eh. You don't want to be the guy holding the ball while the car is depreciating. You want to pass that to somebody else that can afford it, right? You know what? If you can afford it, you like the brand new smell, brand new everything, go ahead. You live once. Mamaya mahit tayo ng bus bukas eh. Hindi natin napasa yung sarili, right? But all I'm saying is, sa akin lang po, I would never buy a brand new version of a vehicle that I really, 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 really want. I would get a second hand na nag-depreciate na para I can save a little bit, diba? So hopefully that answers your question po. But the GR86, nice pick. Nice pick. In white, I've seen it in white. I like it in white. It's very nice. Okay. Si Kuya Cesar. Kumusta po, Kuya Cesar? Sabi po ni Kuya Cesar, hey Puto, would you still lease a vehicle if you're using it for personal use? What are your thoughts? I think I just answered that po like 2 minutes ago. I would never. Like I said, bibili po ako ng kotse na gusto ko na hindi po ako bibili ng bagong version ng kotse na gustong-gusto ko. Hihintayin ko po magkaroon ng used version para hindi po sa akin yung depreciation tumama. Diba? Dahil, okay, I'll give you an example. Long time ago, yung pong lola ko, God rest her soul, nung pong buhay siya, sa lahat ng mga apo ng lola ko, si mama, paborito po niya ako, tsaka yung Kuya Lyndon ko. Okay? Everybody else, took a back seat. And before she passed away, yung huling gift niya po sa akin was a 1996 Corvette. It was a red Corvette. Okay? I know, sasabihin niyo, Kuya PuTo, you said you would never buy domestic, but yeah, at that time, I think I was like 19 years old, and my grandmother, as a gift, before she passed away, binili niya ako ng 1996 Corvette. And it was a C4. It's before it switched the model year, right? Because from 96 to 97, nagbago sila. My grandmother at that time paid $67,000 plus taxes for this Corvette. Okay? And Corvettes usually hold their value, right? Pero napansin ko po, dahil bata pa ako noon, meron pong binibili yung mga book, Auto Trader, tawag doon Auto Trader, and every week, I'm always checking the price to see if it's gone up, gone down, or if it stayed the same. I did that for 2 years. Auto Trader, nabibili po yun sa mga convenience stores back in the day nung bata ako. It's like a booklet where they advertise for sale vehicles. This is before the internet. And this is one of the first lessons that I learned. Wala pang kotse na tumataas, walang regular na kotse na tumataas ang value. Lahat po bumabagsak. So yeah, my grandma paid $67,000 plus taxes way back in the day, brand new 1996 Corvette. Okay, for me. And every time I buy an Auto Trader magazine, napansin ko po, bagsak ng bagsak ng bagsak ng bagsak yung presyo. And ever since then, that's why I told myself, I will never, ever, ever, ever buy a brand new version of a car that I really, 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 really want. So no po. If I cannot, the only way I would take a payment on a car, like a bi-weekly, monthly payment, is if I can leverage it against taxes, which actually we do. Diba? Personal use, I couldn't justify it. I would stick to use. Okay? Sana po na-answer ko po yung question niyo, Kuya Cesar. So, Nelson, I appreciate your video, Kuya PuTo. I got 2 more coming. Okay, I got 2 more coming. I'm almost there. You know, I think by this weekend, if like I said, if everything is good, then yeah, baka masurrender na namin yung Highlander ni Mrs. Sabi po again ni Kuya Nelson, I leased a car because kay Kuya PuTo. I hope you did it for the right reason po, Kuya Nelson. Thank you. Car is a liability. Honda hold value in Toyota. 100%. 100%. Historically, okay, it's never cost us anything, really. Meron po akong video, if you're interested. I think I posted it last week. It's all of the cars na nilease po namin in the last 20 years. And most of it, Honda. Yeah. And there's a reason why we stuck to Hondas, because they do keep their value. Especially when it comes time na isusurrender na. You know? 9 times out of 10, either hugas kamay or a little bit of positive equity, diba? So, I'm happy that it's working out for you, Kuya Nelson, and God bless. Kuya PuTo, would you suggest Tesla to lease? I actually looked at a Tesla. Kanina, pumunta kami sa Hamilton. Okay? Kasama ko si Mrs. Gusto daw niya mag-shopping sa Nations. That's the closest Asian supermarket dito sa amin, sa Brantford, right? And sa loob nung mall, Lime Ridge Mall sa Hamilton, there's a Tesla dealership. So pumasok ako. I asked around. I knew I was not going to get a Tesla. But since nandun na kami, I looked around, asked a couple questions. If you like them, yeah, go do it. Ako lang kasi, I can't commit sa EV. Not yet. Dahil, personal lang to, right? Ako nga minsan, yung cellphone ko nakakalimutan kong i-charge. Paano pa yung kotse? That's just me. Mababaliw ako. If I'm driving one day and mauubusan na ako ng range dahil nakalimutan kong i-charge, and I know I will do that, okay? And I can't just go sa gas station and maglagay ng gas. This is why I cannot commit. Plus, I don't know. I understand that's gonna be the future, okay? And eventually, siguro lahat ng tao magta-transition sa EV, but not yet. Not yet. Ako kasi nasanay ako dun sa vroom vroom, nasanay ako dun sa maingay, nasanay ako dun sa analog. I like analog. Gusto kong nararamdaman yung primera, segunda, tercera, that's just me. I'm a car guy. I guess I'm an analog purist, they call it, right? So, but if you like Tesla, go do it. Make yourself happy. If the numbers work and it serves your purpose, go do it. Sa akin lang, I'm not quite sold yet. Eventually, meron akong commenter, si Kuya Robocop. Okay, taga Hong Kong siya. And he was giving me information about BYD. Okay, BYD is a big EV manufacturer sa China, sa Hong Kong, okay, like that part of the world, sa Asia. And yung pong mga design nila, yung pong tech nila, as in, kulelat si Tesla. As in, kulelat si Tesla. And I'm just waiting if ever, they break the North American market, then maybe I'll jump on the EV boat. You know, look it up, guys. BYD. Ang ganda ng mga design nila, yung tech nila, ang galing. Kulelat si Tesla. And I think their battery capability is way better too. You know? But yeah, but nobody knows kung mabibreak nila yung North American market. So, Kuya Cesar, sabi po ni Kuya Cesar, nothing against Toyota, but I love my Chevy Trax. Yeah, you know what, Kuya? There's nothing wrong with Chevy Trax. There's nothing wrong with Ford. There's nothing wrong with any of the domestic brands. Okay? It's just a personal choice for me. Dahil po, like I said, dun sa truck ni Mrs., every 2 or 3 years, nagre-reset po kami. And I need the resale value because I don't want to have to pay out of my pocket when we do return it. That for the last 16 to 20 years, iniiwasan ko po talaga to do brake jobs, to do maintenance jobs, to do valve jobs, to do coolant flushes, to do tire rotations. I haven't done any of those in the last 16 to 20 years because the moment it hits like 40, 50,000 kilometers, the longest we've ever kept a car, okay, was probably 48,000 kilometers. That's the longest we've ever kept the car. Just before that breaking point na kailangan gastahan ninyo. I don't want to do any of that. That's why we've been doing the things that we do. And like I said, it is a tax deduction for us. Plus, you know what? Kung si Mrs. po, wala naman siyang alam sa kotse, right? And I've touched up on this in my previous videos. Kung hindi siya masisiraan because it's a brand new vehicle, right? Kung ako, nasiraan ako sa kotse ko, ayos lang, I know what to do. But si Mrs. po, I don't know what to say. I love her. Yaman na ako magdusa, wag lang siya, di ba? That's just me. But yeah, it's just a personal choice po. It's just a personal choice. Millie the Toy Puro. Pasensya na po, wala yung glasses ko malabo yung mata ko. Salamat sa advice, that makes perfect sense. Actually, looking for a used one. Do not want to pay the depreciation. Don't pay the depreciation. Because sabi po nila, and you can look this up, and this is very factual, most of the depreciation happens the first 2 or 3 years. Okay? Sa akin ngayon, if I had like disposable money, if I had like money underneath my pillow na talagang nagbebeg lang, gastahin mo ako, Kuya PuTo. I really want to go buy a Toyota Supra. I do. Not the well, I guess it would be the BMW Supra. I know it's a BMW, but it's still a Supra. I would like to buy one. Dito sa Canada ngayon, if there's any US viewers ngayon dito, they're still selling for about 55,000 Canadian. Okay, hindi po bumababa yung presyo. But, I'm just waiting for that I'm just waiting to dip just a little bit more. If it reaches like the high 20s, the low 30s, maybe I'll pull a trigger on a Supra. And I'll never drive it. I'll never drive it. Just give me a sec. Baby, I'm live. I'll call you back. I'm live on the thing right now. I'll call you back. Pasensya na po, tinatawagan ako ni Mrs. She doesn't know I'm in her office right now. Nelson, ang hirap pag hindi Toyota or Honda pag trade in sa dealer. They lowball you. Some, they say they will auction it in bulk. Depende po sa type ng kotse na bibilin po nila sa inyo. Yung typically, like yung Highlander po namin, it's fairly new, right? It's like 2 years old. that's probably going into their used inventory fleet. But if it's like something older, like a 2010, 2015, they'll try to sell it on their lot. Kung di po mabenta doon, they'll give it, merong time frame yun eh. They'll give it maybe a week or two if it doesn't sell. They'll send it to auction with the rest of the vehicles na hindi nila mabenta, right? That's just how they recycle cars, right? But typically, 1, 2, maybe even 3-year-old cars, that stays in their used fleet. Yeah. Sino pa ba nandyan? And tama po kayo, Kuya Nelson. Ang hirap nga talaga pag, kunyari, okay. This is the point I'm trying to make po, like I said, about car brands, right? And don't hate Kuya PuTo for this. I'll give you an example. Kunyari, instead na Toyota Highlander 2023, ang kotse namin, na tinetrade, palagay nyo na like a 2023 Bronco. Ganda yung Bronco, di ba? Parang Jeep. Palagay nyo, yun ang tinetrade kong kotse instead of a Highlander. I guarantee you, and I've looked this up, okay? I will not be in a positive equity situation. I will definitely be in a negative equity situation dahil it's a Ford. Nothing against the Bronco. I actually like how the Bronco looks. I have a Jeep, okay? I know they copied the Jeep, but I kind of like the design. Kaya lang po, numbers-wise, it never would make sense and it would not allow me to have the freedom to actually switch it every 2 or 3 years. And it's not a knock on Ford. It's not a knock on domestic brands. Ganun lang po talaga. Typically, Hondas and Toyotas, they are the ones that keep their value, especially when it's time to trade it back in or return it or just hugas kamay. From my experience po. Kuya Cesar, you should do this more often. Love car talk. You know what? I would love to. I'm a car guy, Kuya Cesar. I'm a car guy. I would love to. It's just, hindi ko po alam kung merong manunood. That's why I don't do live that much, right? Like, I'm a big fan of watching live. I'm always watching and supporting Spot Pinoy. But yeah, if there's an audience and if our community likes it, yeah, you know what? We can talk more about cars. I can go on for days on end, because by heart I am a car guy, And part of the reason, like I said, why vlog ko po itong this whole entire week, this whole car buying process dahil ang dami po nating mga kabayan. Napansin ko, and I was one of these people na mahiyain. They don't say anything. They just assume. Parang nahihiya sila magtanong, nahihiya silang ano tawag doon, mag-bargain. Right? Pag pumunta po sila sa dealership, yung mga dealer, yung mga sales agent, tingin po sa kanila parang mga, kakatayin ko to. Okay, bebentahan ko to ng kung ano-ano. Dadagdagan ko ng kung ano-anong fees yan and they will never question it. Iisipin lang po nila, party lang yun ng transaction. But no. Everything is negotiable, especially fees. It all depends how bad they want your business. Okay? And gusto ko pong malaman ng mga kabayan natin yan para hindi sila I wouldn't say maisahan, but so hindi sila ma-take advantage po ng mga dealerships because believe it or not, it is business. That's why I can't hate on them because they're just trying to make money, right? And that's everybody. Pero minsan po talagang garapalan talaga eh. And if I can show like what I do and if it helps like a fellow kabayan out there with the negotiating process, even if I save them a $500 administration fee, okay? That's $500 that they would have paid for kung di nila nakita sa mga videos ko na, pwede palang i-waive yun. Diba? But there's more than just a $500 admin fee, I'll give you an example. Dito busit na busit ako, okay? So, yung pong, if you watched my last 3 videos, tumingin po ako ng Honda CR-V. Puti. It's an LX all-wheel drive. Okay? And it's a base model, but it's all-wheel drive. And you know what? It's fully loaded, really. Wala na namang base model ngayon. Like with the exception of leather and a couple options, it's almost the same as a top-level trim, right? So, doon po sa isang dealership na pinuntahan ko, and I'm not gonna do business with this dealership ever again, moving forward. Doon po sa worksheet, nakalagay as one of the extras that's mandatory na hindi daw pwedeng tanggalin are chrome wheel locks for $90 plus tax. Ano ba yung chrome wheel locks na yan, Kuya Puto? Alam mo yung wheel lock na nilalagay nyo sa rim? Okay? Binebenta po nila sa dealerships yon kasama na dun sa kotse para hindi daw nakawin yung gulong mo, yung rims mo, di ba? So, sabi ko dun sa dealership, dun sa sales agent, right? Yung CRV na gusto kong bilhin, na tinitignan ko, it's an LX model. It doesn't even have alloy wheels. It has steelies with a hubcap on. But maggagasta ako ng $90 plus tax para hindi manako yung hubcap ko? Does that make sense to you? You know, if I had like $3,000 rims, $5,000 rims on my truck, okay, yeah, maybe I'll spend $100 on wheel locks. Pero kung yung gulong ko, you know, steel wheels lang with hubcaps on, ba't kailangan kong bayaran ka ng $90? Diba? So, karamihan po ng Pinoy, I guarantee you, you know, pag nakaupo na sila doon, tapos pirmahan na. The fact na sa isip po nila, oh, excited ako, magkakaroon kami ng bagong kotse. Sige, ayos na yan. Kasama naman yan sa package, di ba? Kasama naman yan sa transaction. No. So sa akin lang po, even if I can save you from the pain of having to pay $90 for wheel locks that you don't need, at least I've done my job, di ba? That's why I'm sharing those videos with you. Okay, sino pa ba nandito? Nobody said that life is always fair. Sabi po niya, magandang umaga po, Kuya PuTo. Magandang umaga din po. Dito, gabi na. Gabi na dito. Millie the Toy Poodle. Always had Toyotas and Hondas. First time trying GMC truck, diesel. So far, so good. Believe it or not, okay. Alam ko, marami pong magtatampo kay Kuya PuTo because, puro ka Honda, puro ka Toyotard, puro ka Japanese. Believe it or not, guys, okay, yung mga pickup trucks, like the big, humongous pickup trucks na ginagawa ng Ford, tsaka ginagawa ng GM, they actually hold their value very, very, very well. Yes. And, ano tawag doon? They're very desirable. They are, especially if you're into like the construction, area. But they do hold their value very, very well. Problema lang doon, okay? Typically, yung mga truck na talagang desirable ng Ford and GM, ang mamahal po ng MSRP. Okay, they're like the big giant trucks, right? That everybody wants, that do hold their value really well. Pero, ang mahal ng sticker price. So to a lot of people, it's unattainable. So we're just talking about regular, everyday car that everyday people can drive, right? But yeah, to their credit, Fords and GMs, like the big boy trucks, they're nice. Not only are they nice, they're super solid, super solid. Oops, ay. Just give me a sec, guys. Ayun. Okay. Nahulog yung isa kong camera eh. Yeah. Sabi po ni Kuya Kobe Joe. Shoutout po from Saskatoon, Kobe Joe. Yes, sir. I got you on my Facebook. That's it. Kevin Flores. Sabi po ni Kevin Flores. Kuya PuTo, good afternoon from Vancouver. Ooh, Vancouver. Yes, sir. One day, I'll come visit Vancouver. My brother-in-law, taga Vancouver po sila. Sa Chilliwack. One day, I'll go there and see what's up. Okay? It's been a while since I've been there. Kobe Joe, just paid off my 2024 Honda Hybrid CRV this week. Ooh, nice! Very nice, Kuya. Hybrid, that's up there. That's a very nice trim. Oh yeah. Kuya Kobe Joe, what color is your CRV? I'm just curious. See, wife ko kasi, she likes white. She has driven nothing but white cars in the last 10 years yata, a little bit more. She likes white cars. Kuya Kevin Flores, ask ko na advice tungkol sa leasing. We have business here in Vancouver. Ano ang magandang mag-lease kilometer or mabay kami ng bago? If you have a business, Kuya Kevin, look into leasing. Yeah, it makes sense because you can claim it against the business. Like your vehicle expense. You can leverage the payments against your taxes, right? Not only yung payments nyo, maintenance, gas, insurance, all of that, it falls under vehicle expense. So kung meron kayong business, look into leasing. It makes sense. It really does. Millie the Toy Poodle. Lease question. Is it advisable to finance a vehicle after 2 years of leasing it? Uh, you can buy it out. You can buy it out. Usually, yung financing po, then again, I can't really speak on this because hindi pa po nangyayari sa amin to because we never fulfill the 5-year contract. Like I said, every 3 years we surrender it for an upgrade, right? But from what I know, don't quote me on this because hindi ko pa po nagagawa to. At the end of the lease term, there's a buyout. Okay, there's a buyout. There's a specific buyout number, and you can opt to buy out the vehicle for that price, or you can just ugas kamay here, take it back. But with Hondas and Toyotas po, I was told, okay, because we have other people, we have other friends, we have other partners na nagli-lease din, and they fulfill the 5 years. Okay? They say about 7 times, 6 or 7 times out of 10, yung pong buyout is actually more than what the market value is. So, they're in the positive. Meron po akong kaming kaibigan, yung buyout po nung Honda, ano ba yun? Yung malaking truck, yung Honda Pilot niya was $30,000 or $32,000. Okay, that's the buyout, right? Pero at that moment in time, nung natapos na po yung 5-year contract niya, yung 5-year lease niya, the market value was still like around 38, 39,000. Okay, so there's like $7,000 there or something like that, diba? So ginawa niya, he took 7,000, he took $32,000 from his line of credit. He bought the vehicle, and then he turned around and sold it for 38,000 or 39,000, and then he paid his line of credit for the money that he already took out, that he originally took out, and he pocketed the rest. So that's the power of having a Toyota or a Honda because that's very common. That's very common. Okay. Sino pa ba nandyan? Oh, marami nag-comment. I really appreciate you guys commenting. That's great. Sabi po ni Kuya Kevin Flores, we have two old cars. I have a 2004 Toyota Sienna and a 2015 Mazda 5. Keep the Sienna. Those are nice and they will go forever. The Mazda, my son, he has a Mazda 3. They're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good. He has a Mazda 3 four-door hatchback. I think it's like a 2012 or something like that. They're great, but resale value wise, medyo tabingi yata eh, but it's all good. But the Sienna, solid. Kuya Nelson. Sabi po ni Kuya Nelson, Kuya PuTo, ano ba to? Late na, hindi ko mabasa. Late na nung napanood ko yung video nyo na you can negotiate sa mga options. I thought it comes with a car. See? Next time, I know what to do now. I'm not good on negotiation. this is what I'm trying to talk to say to people, Kuya Nelson. Si karamihan po ng tao, they'll walk into a dealership, the sales agent, bibigay po yung worksheet sa inyo. Nandun yung mga numero. And karamihan po ng mga kabayan natin Pinoy, hindi naman po, like they just assume na parte ng negotiation yun and it's like mandatory. Nothing is mandatory inside a dealership, guys. Everything is negotiable. So hopefully next time po, moving forward, at least now you know what to do. Okay? Even if I'm able to save you $500 from that stupid admin fee that karamihan po ng mga dealers they charge, man, $500, that's a PlayStation 6 or 5 or something. Diba? So at least I can save you a little bit. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key. Diba? Kobjo, hi. Kervin Flores, ma-write off ba yan pag mag-lease kami? Yeah. If you're gonna use it 100% for the business, yes. Vehicle expense, you can leverage the payments and everything associated dun sa coaching yun, as long as you're using it for the business. You can claim it at the end of the year sa tax season when you do your taxes, right? Design flaw. I'm not much of a car guy, but an analog engine, roaring sound feels so good. You're my guy. I don't get that feeling from EVs. Sup, Kuya PuTo? I couldn't agree with you more, Kuya. This is why hindi pa ako ready mag-transition sa EV. That's the truth. Dahil, you know, I grew up in the 90s. Okay? Teenager ako nung 90s, right? So we're talking Integra, Prelude, CRX, Delso, 3000 GT, Eclipse, Supra, RX-7. Okay? All of those cars. There's a feeling that you get when you shift primera, segunda, tercera. Okay? It's like only a car guy can relate to this. Parang it's like you're part of the car. It's like you're one with the car. And I've been inside EVs. I've been inside a Tesla. I've never driven one, but I've been driven in a Tesla. Parang wala pong kaluluwa eh. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of kabayans out there that drive Teslas and they're amazing. I'm just saying, from an old school car guy that grew up in the 90s, okay, it's parang walang kaluluwa. Okay. Okay, sino ba nandyan? RJ890. Do you follow F1? No, I don't, Kuya. I don't follow F1. Nung pong bata ako sa Toronto, usually after Caribana, me and my friends would like drive down or take the GO train to Lakeshore, and we would watch the F1 cars, right? They do rounds downtown Toronto by the Lakeshore. But other than that, I never really followed F1. But it's a fantastic sport. It really is. It's $1 billion game. But yeah, no, I don't follow it po. Sabi po ni Kuya Cesar, my truck came with wheel locks. I don't remember paying extra. Wow, $90. Yes po. I think it's the second video I uploaded this week. I shared yung worksheet po na binigay sa akin ng Brantford Honda, and it was $90 for wheel locks dahil meron pong breakdown dun sa worksheet. And yeah, it's $90 for wheel locks on steel wheels with hubcaps on, which makes absolutely zero sense. And sabi po nila sa akin, it's mandatory. I'm like, I'm sorry, bitch, please. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's sa utak ko po yung sinasabi ko while they were explaining it to me. Pinoy blogger commentator sa Canada. Hello po from Saskatoon. Kumusta po kayo? Nelson, can you lease for Uber driving? I've never looked into that. Okay, I wouldn't recommend it because your insurance would be stupid. Because tatanong po sa inyo nung insurance carrier ninyo, what business are you in? And you're gonna have to provide specifics, right? And if you say Uber driver, your insurance might be higher. So, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Ayun, pasensya na po. Medyo tumagal na to. I'm just happy po na there's people watching. I never thought na meron pong manonood ng live ni Kuya PuTo, but thank you very much. Tinatawagan ako ni Mrs. Nagluto po siya ng soup dahil medyo malutong yung throat ko ngayon. It's the weather going hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. But maraming salamat po for tuning in. Let me know if you guys enjoy yung mga live na ganito, car talk, or whatever you guys want to talk about. Let me know. We'll do more live. Okay, guys? So, have a good night. God bless. Hope everything is beautiful. This is Kuya PuTo. Out. Bye for now.